We will come on to Scotland, by the way, at some point in the...
It's fine, we're just loving the negative chat for all the England fans. We're happy to be here, it's fine.
You've not said you're going to win it. We're happy.
That's the English media's job.
coming, don't worry.
Okay.
So, the team that basically plays the first game against Serbia, there's no doubt, is there, about who's going to start in goal. It's going to be Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, he's been brilliant in the previous tournament, so I think he's just as important as Harry Kane. I think if he gets injured, there's not a lot of experience at international level on the bench, so he has to play.
Is anyone debating, with a good argument, Jordan Pickford as number one? Yeah, I was hoping we weren't going to get stuck there. OK, let's go to right back. And there at the moment, we've got Kyle Walker. And is there any debate that Kyle Walker starts as right back in the first game?
No. England's best right back ever.
In any team.
Different debate. Kyle Walker right back, we're all in?
Yeah.
OK, right centre back, I think we've pretty much got this this first three settled. Obviously, there's a doubt or a concern over John Stones, but John Stones starts right centre back?
Yeah, I'd start him, definitely, yeah.
John Stones, right centre back?
Yeah.
Happy? OK, that left centre back is where it starts to get a little bit complicated. And we've got Gay, we've got Gomez, we've got Dunk, we've got Konza.
I don't know.
Con?
I think just for form in the league and I'd play Gay, but I'd be worried, but that's what I'd
This
play.
is where we're missing Harry big time, isn't it? Yeah. He's had a tough time, and for England, he just does it.
But Harry's been absolutely battered for England.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not by the fans.
No, but just he has been absolutely. You know, if you think about it now, it's almost that sort of like worry about what you've got until it's gone, and then
Is as key
That's
for
the
us
media for you.
as Kyle is, as Harry is for me and it's a massive miss. I think that's the big
I
doubt
think
we've got.
that's why I'm so surprised that Branthwaite's not there, because obviously with Trippier being right-footed as well, I think Branthwaite would have given so much balance. He's really good with his feet. He went over to Holland, was playing on loan in Holland before coming back to Everton, plays balls through the lines. He's a big lad, he's aggressive. I was shocked. That's probably the biggest shock for me, that he went in the squad with Harry being left out.
I mean, Waz has gone for Gay. Anybody think that it should be anyone else?
I think it depends on the opposition. I think he'll look at the opposition and see what he's got to put up against what they've got and decide per match.
What, change the centre-back pairing per match?
Well, not everyone, but if that's the centre-back that matches the opposition's.
I mean, not just Gareth, but any manager, I think he'll want to select his centre-back pairing and he'll want to go with it. I can't think he's going to be rotating at centre-back. I mean, I'm not saying that you won't end up rotating anyway, but on Gay.
I was going to say, on Mark, he's had a great 2 or 3 years for us. Obviously, the last part of this season, he's been injured. He got injured against Brighton. He had an ongoing knee issue, I think, and ended up having an operation on it. And he missed a large part of the Oliver Glasner honeymoon period, as it was. But he's still somebody that I would trust completely on the ball. You know, in terms of his game, that's what he's a Rolls Royce of a centre-back. I know that's a cliche. The issue I have is, one, the lack of tournament experience that he has, and 2, the lack of height. Because obviously, you know, the Harry Maguire element is a completely different physical specimen. And I do wonder whether or not he might get bombarded a little bit in the air. But in terms of his technical ability on the ball, I have no question about him being able to handle it at international level. And to be honest, you know, from a left-sided centre-back perspective, he started there for us next to Anderson for the last 3 years and been as dependable as anyone. Yeah. So from club form-wise, I don't have any question mark over it. But I understand why people are a bit jittery.
Yeah. I don't think he'll get bombarded, and I think the game's a bit different now, and there's very few crosses what go into the box.
I mean, set pieces will be an issue.
Set pieces in Serbia with Mitrovic could be a problem. I wouldn't be surprised if, when Luke Shaw's fit, if he puts him in there. That wouldn't surprise me, just to, as we talk about experience, and you go with Shaw and keep Trippier left back. I think he's played there for Manchester United, he's done really well.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't surprise me later on in the tournament if that happens.
So, I mean, obviously, you talk about lack of experience, but this is the problem part of the team, isn't it, the left side of the defence. And I don't think we've got any other option but to play Trippier at left back, have we? The one injury that we're going to say is guaranteed out for Sunday is Luke Shaw. The rest of the concerns will say that they're fit. But I think Luke Shaw is out Sunday. We know that. So is it just a guarantee that Trippier plays?
Yeah.
It is, but for me, he's been really poor all season. Like, he's had injuries as well, but he's been poor.
Plays Saka at left back.
I thought the other night against Iceland he was poor again.
Serious?
But he'll play, he has to play, but he hasn't been playing well for Newcastle.
Billy's got an idea.
Yes, it's a hard one because again, when you're trying to plan the teams, you know, the team against the. I mean, you don't want to change it up against each team, but you know that Serbia, they're going to sit back, okay, and they've got Mitrovic up front. I mean, I'm a Brentford fan, so you know, I just used to see him the whole time. Danger, balls in the air, really good in the air. So you're thinking, Gahey, I love him as a player. I think he's great. It's really exciting getting all these new players in. He's not the best player in the air as well. So again, when you talk about the Harry Maguire thing, you think, you know, when they're gone, you sort of think, oh, we missed that guy. But then we thought actually we was having a chat, and I thought TTA, okay, Trent, okay, on the right, okay, and flipping to the left as well. So.
The to left, Kyle Walker to the left.
Sorry, yeah. So Trent on the right hand side, and then flipping Kyle Walker to the left as well. Could be an option there as well, because he's a good left back. You know, you can get the width down that left hand side as well, and it sort of kind of deals with a couple of issues. So it's something that, you know, hasn't necessarily been talked about, but you're thinking, how can you deal with this situation? Because everyone's always talking about how our defence is going to be a problem. Maybe not necessarily in the group games, but a bit later on. So that might be
For me, if you do that, you could do that. And the only way you could do that though is you keep Kyle Walker back and you build with a back three. So in possession, you build a three. So you have Walker, Gay, Stones. Then you have Rice in the midfield, and you have your front five, and you have Anthony Gordon playing 1-for-1 for me off the left, and Bellingham and Foden going to 2 number 10s, Saka on the right.
It's an interesting thought, but he has, to be fair, you know, he's named Trent as a midfield player. That's not to say he couldn't change him back to right, but he seemed, you know, I interviewed Trent, I think 2-3 months ago, and I think he's had a conversation with Gareth that actually his future is in midfield for England. It's not like he doesn't see him as a right back, which is, you know, it's incredible because obviously he plays right back for Liverpool. It would be, has Gareth got that in him to surprise us so close to a tournament, to do something that we haven't seen before? Because, I mean, to be honest with you, Kyle has played at the odd time there at left back. Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right would be, I mean, he's amazing on the ball, and it would mean Stones could just slide across into that right sort of back zone where he's comfortable.
And again, it's one of those things, I mean, as you say, Gareth hasn't necessarily played like that. I mean, he's going 4 at the back, and I just threw it on as it was coming up on the train before. Actually, this is a little option, because you're thinking, how are you going to unlock Serbia as well? If they go down there and they're basically just kind of closing it up, you've got TTA.
Well, I will say Serbia have different to what they have been. Serbia are very similar to England, where their strength is the attacking players and the back line is the weakness, where in the past they've been a team who would sit back and make it difficult, where I actually think Serbia will go at England, and I think the first game, I think it'll be a really open game.
I mean, I think that's more, Gareth's more likely, do we all agree Gareth's more likely to do this?
Yeah.
But we're picking your team. Are you sticking with that? Would you pick this, or would you go with the sort of solution of
Yeah,
Trent?
I'd probably go
stick with that. Okay, midfield 3. This is currently got, I think Bellingham and Rice we think are going to be in, don't we?
Yeah.
And it's a certainty. And you'd have them in as well, won't you? Yeah. Where's Bellingham playing though? Is he playing like that, or is he playing like that?
I'd go a bit lopsided like that.
What, with Trent in?
No, with Foden.
So Foden comes in for Trent. Where are you? Where are you, Foden?
He's at the top,
Top
on the
wing.
pitch.
Oh, he's on the pitch. So you're basically, what you're doing is almost a bit like this.
Yeah.
So you're playing Bellingham a little bit deeper.
A little bit deeper, but I think tonight, even against Iceland, a big concern is, obviously it looks like this here, but when you're playing, England are similar to Man City in terms of they're playing in the opposition's half, so the back line is up here, and you're playing in one half the pitch. Then you'd have Bellingham, Mainu was doing it, probably in Bellingham's position, Foden, Palmer was coming inside, Kane was dropping in, they were closing all the space up, so I'd have Bellingham a little bit deeper, Foden playing as a 10, allows him the space either side, and then Rice coming here and keep the width.
Is anyone challenging this midfield with good reason?
Yeah, I challenge that just because I think we'd be too vulnerable.
defensively in that situation. I think it gives Declan Rice a lot of responsibility. And the two fullbacks, this isn't like previous major tournaments, in terms of Kieran Trippier's really struggled this season. And even Kyle Walker as well. I don't think he's going to have as much magic in terms of recovery for us as he has in previous tournaments. I think Southgate's really going to have to try and build a foundation defensively and take it from there. And I think by playing that midfield, it will really make
I think it, obviously, what I was saying, it doesn't look like that defensively. So this is in possession. So if you just allow me to do this. So defensively, just put one there for us.
Who is it?
Whoever.
Where's
For
Gordon?
now.
You wanted Gordon in, didn't you? Where is he there?
So defensively, you're very solid. A lot of teams do it now. We're more 4-4-1-1, 4-4-2 defensively. Then actually, you've got players. Saka works, Gordon works. You've got players really close, closing the space to each other. And then you can force it to one side. So if Harry Kane forces it this way, Foden presses out to this side, and you're very compact as a team. So you're hard to beat. So out of possession, it's a lot different to what you are. And then in possession, all it is that it just moves a little bit slightly. So it's not too big a distance to go from possession to out of possession. So
I think what you're saying makes sense, but I think what you're saying, I think Gareth thinks.
I think that's purely because of the lack of players here.
I've got this feeling that he loves Gallagher.
Yeah.
He may not throw him at us in game one, because he might think that'll just set off on a negative tone of putting Gallagher alongside Rice with Bellingham advanced. Because I think, personally, the team I think he wants to go for is...
He'll be Foden will go off the left.
Is that?
That's what he'll end up doing.
So for me, I think where Gareth's going to end up is to get that sort of extra runner, that legs, that one who can go and basically take the ball off people, because he's really good at that. It actually, to be fair, in some ways, sometimes allows him to be able to just be a little bit, because I think he's amazing when he's driving forward. That's where I think he's at his best, actually. I don't think he's a number 6. I actually don't think he's that great when he's receiving the ball from deep, like some of the great sort of, if you like, number 6s do. I think he wants him in, but I don't think he'll start and give us that to start with. I actually think he'll put Trent in there on Sunday, and that will almost be deemed as an acceptable bridge between sort of giving us Foden, Bellingham and Rice and what will be the more... it's not as sexy, is it, Conor Gallagher, with respect? And it will get a bit of an from England fans will just think the team's announced. You just know what's going to happen no disrespect to him, because I think he's a really good player, but you're going with, let's go back to what you want to do, Razzo, which is who did I kick out? So you want Foden, you want Bellingham a bit deeper, you want Rice in there, you want Foden there, and you want Anthony Gordon on that left. So where is Anthony Gordon going? So why him there?
I think he's different. He's the one player. Well, Saka does as well, but maybe not as much as Gordon. He runs off the ball, he runs in behind, he takes the ball, he'll commit players, and he'll hold the width. You've seen him doing it for Newcastle. He'll keep the width here, which allows more space for these players here. I think all the other wingers, Eze likes to come inside. Who else has got on the left?
Well, Palmer could play there, potentially, right, really. Yeah.
Their biggest strength are all coming inside. He's the one player who will hold the width in and make it difficult. If teams sit back, you need width. You need to keep moving it from side to side to create opportunities.
Is anyone challenging the midfield 3? I know you've challenged it with two open. I think if we're playing a bigger team, a better team, I'd be worried, I'll be honest with you, with that 3 in midfield. I just would be. I just don't think it gives that back 4 enough protection. And I don't think he's not a Rodri in terms of defensive sort of, if you like, stability. Is anyone challenging that for Sunday? Is that the team that you would all go with? Bellingham? I know you said no, you'd rather have some more solidity. Everyone's having that.
I don't think he'll do that on Sunday, by the way. that's my team.
Right.
No.
So your team is that, but you think he'll go...
Yeah, he'll play Foden off the left.
So you think he will play Foden?
Yeah, and
so
he'll either play Gallagher or Trent, what you were saying.
Okay, so let's finish on your team. Is this your team?
That's what I'd start, yeah.
Okay, is anyone challenging Wazza on Gordon on the left?
I think that telepathy between Trippier and Gordon works. I think Saka and Walker does the job there, and he's played with him. He knows him inside out, doesn't he? Trippier knows what Gordon does, and I think it could be a key partnership for us on the left, because we are weaker down the left.
Does Palmer not get in to start?
Yeah.
I don't think he'd start, personally. Even though he's had a fantastic season, I just feel as though, like you said, it's strange because we can debate it and pick it apart and look at different formations, but I find it sort of curious in a way that you'll be like, well, Gareth will go with this to appease the masses to an extent, and he won't put Gallagher on us in the first game. Like,
He won't appease that. He won't. And what my point is, he won't appease the masses. I think the only thing will be is he might think he needs more creativity against Serbia. He might play deeper. So that's it. But I think he'll have in the back of his mind also, it would bring a negative spin if he played Gallagher first game. I have no doubt that if we were playing different opposition, he would put Gallagher in potentially.
I obviously we watched Conor Gallagher up close at Palace for a full season, and he is genuinely, he's a dynamo in the midfield. He'll do all the groundwork, as it were. I do worry against the better opposition in the latter stages that, we've said it time and time again already, if you have so much of an attack-heavy team and you have an inexperienced back four on the left particularly, you can just have too many cooks spoiling the broth. And, Anthony Gordon's great off the left and Cole Palmer's great and he's had a fantastic season for Chelsea. But that lack of big experience, I just feel as though there's something coming around the corner where someone's going to get thrown to the lions, and I'm not quite sure who it is.
Okay, so this is Wazza's team. What is the team that you think Gareth will play? So you think Foden will go left? So
I think Foden will go left, Jude will go in there, and he'll either bring Trent or Gallagher.
So you think Trent or Gallagher? So which one do you have to pick one? Where's Trent gone? Is he?
I wouldn't pick any of them, but...
No. Which one do you think Gareth's going to go for?
I think he'll go with Trent. I think he's probably the most gifted player with the ball at his feet we've got. Defensively, he's all over the place. He can't defend. I wouldn't have him anywhere near the middle of the pitch.
Even in midfield?
No. I've no problem playing him here. I think in here, I wouldn't have him anywhere near there. And I love Trent, actually. I think on the ball, stuff he can do, no one else can do it, but...
Anyone else have doubts over Trent in midfield?
I think Trent's not really a midfielder.
Yeah.
I think Trent really wants to be a midfielder. But I think the role that he's got at Liverpool is that hybrid, right back he drifts in, that suits him perfectly.
Yeah.
But I think someone, and I also love Trent, someone needs to have a hard conversation with Trent to say, you don't have to, that hierarchy where the midfielder is the most important player isn't true.
We've got specialised midfielders who play there throughout the entire season, but Trent's had a word with Southgate and says, actually, I'm playing in midfield. Is that how it's gone?
No. I think they've both basically, I think Gareth Moore had a word with Trent and said, look, I see you more as a midfield player than the right back. Because at the time he had the options of Trippier, Walker, Reece James. He just said, look, I'll be honest with you, your best chance to get in, I think, is midfield. I think that's the sort of conversation. I don't think Trent's gone over to him and said, I'm playing midfield tomorrow.
I didn't think of it like Wayne just said in terms of his defensive attributes. I thought about how good he is on the ball in midfield, and that was all I was concentrating, because I picked him in my first 11. But yeah, I didn't really think about the defensive aspect of it. I thought maybe
playing him there damages Trent's biggest skill, which is his switch of play.
Well, 100%. We go into the quarter-finals and you're playing France. Trent is not playing in midfield. Gareth will not put Trent. For me, Gareth, I don't think Gareth trusts him enough to play him in midfield. And he has his doubts the same way I do about playing midfield. That's when you're going to see Gallagher or you're going to see Mainu probably in there. I don't think he trusts Trent defensively, which I think he's right to, but in the games where you're going to dominate possession, I think you probably will see him in them.
I don't want to get bogged down on this, but there is a strong feeling around England winning this tournament. Will England win this tournament?
For me, it'd be England or Portugal, I think.
Not even France?
No, I think England would beat France. I think England or Portugal.
Wow.
I don't know how it goes on what side they're on. England can play France in the quarters, semis.
If we win the group, it's semis, yeah.
I think Portugal on the other side. I think England or Portugal win them.
if Shaw comes back and he can play and he's fit, then I think...
You can't go to Luke fucking Shaw after that. What do you mean? He just said that England or Portugal going to win the tournament.
No,
You
England
got
are
Luke Shaw at left back. That was an hour and 20 minutes ago, mate.
I just think that if Luke Shaw can play we've got a really good chance.
Right. Anybody think England are not going to win this tournament? Stick your hand up and tell us why. forget the Scotland. Go on, Niamh.
I hope it wasn't just me and the Scotland fans.
No, it
that were
wasn't.
saying
One
that.
more. Steve at the front.
I just think what I worry about is I think other elite nations, their defence speaks for itself in terms of they can set out with their best players defensively and their attacking players, those adrenaline moments, they get goals. Whereas I've got this real concern that because we'll be so in our head, we'll kind of go into the games with the mentality that we are the inferior team, even when we are not the inferior team, because we're so worried about our defensive situation. And also, I just think the fact we've lost 3 huge goal scorers in Rashford, Sterling and Maguire even, for England, they've just gone and we're putting that reliance on players who have literally barely been at major tournaments.
I must admit, I'll come to you, Steve, in a second. Where I was at a month or so ago was I thought it was going to be us or France. I thought we had a real chance. I must admit, when I look at the defence, I'm really struggling to understand how we win that tournament. And that's not down to a sort of, if you like, any individuals, more the collective back four. And my concern, actually, is that's a team that could actually get beat earlier than we think. Not because of this, necessarily, but if something doesn't happen up here, and that it could be, my concern would be that it may be a struggle, just because of what's happened in the last sort of, if you like, I think Maguire is a calming presence. Steve, why can't we win it?
Same as you. I just don't think the quality's there. I feel like the back four, we're sort of all here now trying to pigeonhole players in certain positions that aren't really their positions, and that's not the England way. We should have a set squad, 2 in each position, where we look at the squad and go, if he's not fit, he can come in. I look at that squad and I don't. I feel like the centre back.
When I agree, when you're looking at that, you're trying to put players in and you don't know who's going to play. I watched Holland last night, and the balance of Holland's squad, you see Ake, Van Dijk, Memphis Depay, the balance when Alden, whatever how you say it, but the balance of their squad was brilliant. Where I'm just worried that there's no balance.
If you look at the top 2 teams in England in the Premier League, I know it's different, but if you look at what they've done in the last few years, if you look at what Pep's done to win the Champions League, effectively have 4 really solid defenders, 6 probably solid defenders. If you look at what Arteta's done in the last 12 months, he's built that. I mean, obviously they're good going forward as well, but he's built that challenge for City this season off an improved defence. If you think about it with regards to what they've done.
I feel like the centre-backs are not aggressive enough as well. John Stones is not an aggressive centre-back. I think he likes the ball at his feet, play it out. When he's got Diaz next to him at City, Diaz attacks everything. I feel like if anyone puts it on us at the back there, we're weak. And I feel like Harry Kane sometimes drops into that pocket and he's crowding Phil Foden and the work the midfielders are doing. I feel at City, Haaland keeps them defenders away and he creates that space where we can work.
That was happening against Iceland quite a bit.
And that's why I feel like he needs to get a grip of that. And I don't know. I look at Gareth and I don't think he's a brave manager. I don't think he's got anything in his mind in a game where he can all of a sudden turn or make a decision where you think, hold on a minute, that's a bit mad, but it works. I've seen Pep do it. I've seen other managers do it. It's like, I know when you shut me down before when I said Saka at left back, but I've had a conversation with a few people and I thought, if you can play Palmer on the right, you can play Bukayo Saka on the left, he's left-footed.
Anyone in particular you spoke to that sort of supported your idea? Saka at left back?
You said you worried about the defence, and now you're putting Saka in there.
I think Saka's a better left back than Trippier.
No, but I just wonder whether Gareth's been toying with thinking about, you mentioned Walker at left back, about Konza at right back, and you think of Kivior at Arsenal playing left back and sort of Ake play at left back. There has been a movement in this last
I've
couple
seen
of years.
Fabian Delph at left back, Centurion, you know that.
Yeah, I mean, no, what I'm saying is there's been a movement this last couple of years to this idea of flying wing fullbacks hasn't happened in the last couple of years in the top 2 teams in the country. There's more of an actual feeling that even Sheffield United...
It'll happen like that. That's how they'll play.
And Kyle what? But just
that's how they'll play. And
anyway.
he won't go forward and they'll let go and go 1 for 1.
At least you're saying England and Portugal, England can still win the tournament. You're in a...
Yeah, I still think they can. I think they have to have a... I think they'll have a solid group. For me, the France game is whoever wins that. I think Portugal will be really strong. Whoever wins that, I think, will have a chance. But I think England can beat France.